Purchase your tracks today.
Welcome back to your favorite competitive sports betting show. I am your host, Josh Elliott. It's a new week, so that means we got some new participants today. Two. We were supposed to have two prominent sports handicappers. We do have one, but still, strap in. It's going to be a good one. We'll see who's entering the sports arena. Now, in the red corner, there are four gambling experts. We got one of them tonight. He is trying to get his first call your shot win. They don't just have one specialty. One of the most best sports betting names out there, Midnight Gambler. How you doing today, bud?
What's going on? Happy to be here, man.
I'm happy for you to be here. Now, you were supposed to go up against Buddy's Bets. Unfortunately, he could not make it. Life happens, so it is what it is. So guess what? You're going up against me. This is the first time I've ever gone into the sports betting arena, so hopefully I get a win here, because that would be embarrassing if I lost my own show. No intro for me. You already know me. I'm Daily Plays, just a bit outside. You know everything about me. So, we could just get right into it. What do you think, Midnight? Should we get going?
Sounds good, man. I'm ready.
All right. So let's go with you for your first pick. What do you got?
First pick, I'm liking some plus money tomorrow. I got the Cardinals money line at the Cincinnati Reds. We got Wade LeBlanc for the Cardinals facing Tyler Mahle. And the Reds, they're a little necked up. Their best player, Nick Castellanos, is injured with a forearm injury. He's going to miss a couple weeks. He's been hitting over 300. He's an MVP candidate this year, and he's out. That's a huge hit to that lineup. The Reds have also not been keeping games close. They are 0-6 against the spread at home in their last six, and 16-28 at home versus National League opponents this year. I have Tyler Mahle in fantasy, and he's been a little bit of a headache to own, so I was especially watching this matchup. The Reds are 1-5 in Mahle's last six starts, and in their only one win, they didn't even cover the spread. So these games at home with Mahle, they could really go either way. Now the Cardinals are starting Wade LeBlanc, who I believe he's listed as a 4+ ERA, and I think that's why this line is so high, because he's playing on the road. But that 4 ERA really doesn't tell the whole story. In his debut start, he got roughed up a little bit for 5 or 6 runs, but since that one start, he's had a 2.50 ERA since the second start on June 28th. So he's been throwing the ball well. Cardinals also have new lineup advantage. The last 30 days, they've had a higher OPS than the Reds, and at plus 160, I think that's too high of a number not to take them.
We were talking actually before we went live that this line is just unbelievable to me, considering that St. Louis has actually been playing pretty well. Who's St. Louis got on the mound? LeBlanc, right?
Yeah.
He's a lefty. Cincinnati is bottom tier, I think bottom 5 for sure, in averages against lefties. That was another reason why I was like, whoa, this line kind of doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I'm playing against you, but I love this pick so much. I got it on my daily card tomorrow. It just makes sense for plus money, plus 160. Find that line wherever you can. I had it for 145. So, but yeah, that blows my mind that's plus 160. Now, St. Louis they haven't really scored a ton of runs this year. They still can win games, but they just haven't had that offense like they should. Do you think, maybe that offense is going to get a little kickstart here in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think so. And Cincinnati's a huge hitter's park. I'm a Met fan. Mets just played the Reds, and they put up a ton of runs. So I think that Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark, it's a great place for them to get the offense going. Paul Goldschmidt has actually had a huge second half. Check out his second half numbers. He's a key piece.
Yeah, no, I definitely like it. I just forgot, before we were supposed to get going, I had a quick disclaimer. we're making these picks for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday. Games picked today could potentially have a line change or a value change. So, for example, St. Louis is favored right now at plus 160. Tomorrow, that could drop to 150, 140, even further. So, bet with us now. Bet these lines now so you can get in it and get at some decent value. So, my first pick, I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs money line minus 135 for 2 units. Here's why. They're playing Arizona. Arizona's just, I don't know how you can bet on Arizona right now. They have been actually playing a little bit better in the second half, but it's just too scary of a lineup. I would assume about, a quarter of that lineup will be gone at the deadline. I'm probably not, but just too scary to bet on. Now, the Chicago Cubs haven't really been lights out either. They're still, I think they're below 500 if I'm not mistaken. But they're still 28-17 at home. That's a really good record. Gallen is on the mound. He's 1-4 with a 3.86 ERA. Now they're going up against Davies, who's hasn't had a great win-loss scenario, but he's still averaging. He's still getting a 4.35 ERA, and they're at home. So I mean, give me the Cubs to win this against Arizona, who are a team that I just don't trust. I don't trust their offense. I don't trust their pitching. And I don't know how anybody can. So I like Davies to kind of take control of that game and win it at home. I mean, they're really good at home. So for 135 for 2 units, give me the Chicago Cubs. All right, MG, let's go to your second pick. What do you got?
Second pick, I'm taking the Giants money line at home versus, other than the Diamondbacks, probably the second worst team in the league, the Pittsburgh Pirates. This game is Chad Kuhl at Johnny Cueto. Now, I don't really love Cueto at home, but the Giants are too good to pass up on this line. They are 30-13 at home, and an even better 25-11 versus the National League. Now, when the Pirates are away, they are 15-34 and 11-30 versus the National League. Mm-hmm. The Giants, they are the number 1 team in baseball, and they've won their last 4 home games. The Pirates are 2-5 in their last 7 away games, so this is a great situation, good spot. I think minus 145 is pretty low. It's the first place team versus the last place team at minus 145. I think this line should be closer to minus 200. Both arms have a 4+ ERA, which I don't love, and Chad Kuhl's been pitching pretty well, but the Giant offense is just one of the best in the league, and when they're sleeping in their own beds the night before, I think the value's too high.
I agree with you. Absolutely, this line should be a lot bigger, but I was just going to say Pirates. Now, kind of been of a surprise this year. They've been playing close to teams that they shouldn't be, at least not that we predicted. Now, San Fran, I mean, I know they are at home, but every once in a while, Pittsburgh will just catch on to a team and just stay with them and play with them and might even win. Like they've done it with the Dodgers a couple times this year. Do you kind of have that little worry maybe that they might play close to them? But Johnny Cueto is still good. He's been a big surprise for me this season. Do you think Johnny Cueto just absolutely shuts them down, or do you think maybe you might get a little bit of a scare? Honestly,
I think we might get a little bit of a scare. That's why I didn't take the minus 1.5. I stuck with the run line. I'm not really expecting Cueto to go out there and throw a gem. The Pirates lineup actually isn't terrible. They have a couple all-stars, Adam Frazier, Reynolds, and Brian Hayes. But I think the Giants lineup, that those guys mash, and they're ready to have a big second half. Too good to not take them at home. If this game was away, I'm not taking it.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. I hate that I'm playing against you because I love all your picks. So that brings us to the halfway point of the show. Usually this would be the player pick of the week, but because I'm making 3 different picks, there's no point of it. But when shopping online, www.playergolf.com, make sure to use promo code BETTHEOVER for 20% off. I'm obviously wearing the hat. I also got the shirt. Can't see, but now you can. They just got some great stuff. Just make sure to check them out. They got player gear, golf gear, athletic wear, golf accessories, sweaters, hats, shirts, everything that you need, as well as for the golf course. So make sure to check them out. Great company. And they got a new spring line that they dropped a couple months ago that's been absolutely fire. So that brings us to my second pick of the day. I'm not used to doing this. I'm usually the guy that's like just quarterback and everything. But I mean, hey, we got to do what we got to do. Second pick is going to be Detroit Tigers money line plus 115 against Kansas City. Now, the Tigers are on the road, which is a little bit scary, but one of the hottest teams in the MLB right now, 7 wins in the last 10. They've been on a heater. They just swept Texas. I don't know if that's anything to be proud about, but I mean, they swept them. They've been playing very well. I'm throwing 2 units on because I don't trust KC. KC's coming in kind of very lackluster. They're a terrible team. I don't know how they're 21-25 at home. That's a horrible record. Detroit's kind of scary, man. They got Willie Peralta on the mound tomorrow. He's 3-1 with a 1.64 ERA. So he's throwing the ball well, and that offense is starting to kind of click here in this second half. Obviously, you got Miggy Cabrera, and then you got I'm forgetting names, but anyway, they got a pretty good offense that's kind of clicking here.
I got Gil Badu, Jonathan Scope. Those guys mad.
Badu, that was the one I was looking for. I wanted to say Abadu. But yeah, they've been playing actually pretty decent ball right now. I think they're gonna play close to Kansas City. Kansas City's just not good. Not sure what's going on over there. But yeah, Detroit. I'm betting the hot hand. So give me Detroit plus 115 for 2 units. All right, MG, what do you got for your last pick?
Third pick, we got our second West Coast game. The last one's a West Coast game. Next one's a West Coast game. I'm going to rock with the Oakland Athletics money line at minus 115 at the Seattle Mariners. Mariners have been surprisingly good this year, so I think that's why this line is a little low. We got Frankie Montes throwing for the Athletics. He got busted for PEDs a couple of years ago. You might remember him for that. And Yusei Kikuchi throwing for the Mariners. Now, this is more of a fade on Kikuchi than on the Mariners side. They have a little bit of a young team, but here's the thing with Kikuchi. He's got, I think, a below 4 ERA, and that's why I think this line is a little close. But in his past month, he's actually lost velocity on his fastball. Beginning of the year, maybe it was the sticky stuff. He was hitting 96, 97, and if you look, now he's only hitting 94, 95, and that's shown up. In his 3 July starts, he's given up 13 earned runs. I think it was 7 in his last, 5 in the one before that, and then maybe 1 in the one before that. So I think he's missing the side attack, man. And at home this year, he's actually been worse. He's got a 4.43 ERA. And back to Oakland, they got Frankie Montes. His ERA, again, I think a lot of what Vegas does is they look at kind of like ERAs, and they're trying to trap the casual better. And you might see Frankie Montes 4 ERA, you say Kikuchi 3.5 ERA, and say Kikuchi's better. But Montes has looked great recently. He's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in his last 4 starts. And those three of those opponents were the Red Sox, the Astros, and the Giants. Those are 3 first-place teams. So this guy's absolutely dealing. I think Oakland's got the starting pitching advantage, and their lineup actually hasn't been great, but they're fighting for the playoffs. I think this is a good spot for them to turn it on. And at minus 115, I think the value's there.
Yeah, decent value, like you said. Now, Seattle, 29-20 at home, pretty decent team. They've been actually a big surprise this season. I don't know how they are winning games. Oakland, like you said, has been struggling a bit. Does it worry you a bit that they are on the road to this? Seattle team, Kikuchi is on the mound. He has been playing all right. But, Seattle, 29-20 at home, that's nothing to snuff at.
Yeah, I think they've been exceeding expectations, but when a starter loses velocity, that's the beginning of the end. That is when you see that, you want to sell all your shares immediately. And I think it's been coming to fruition, and it's going to show in this one.
All right. I do I'm a big Oakland fan, but unfortunately my Toronto Blue Jays will be battling with them for the last playoff spot. So I don't know if I can cheer for them. I don't know if I can cheer for them for you. So that's going to take us to my last pick. And I'm going to go with Chicago White Sox money line plus 116 against Milwaukee. They are on the road in Milwaukee, but this is another team that has the offense. Milwaukee, I'm talking about, has the offense to win and to be great, but their lineup has just been not there, especially their bottom half with Jackie Bradley Jr. Now I think he's slotted back in like the 8-9 spot. Not good. I don't think they're going to go on much of a run. They've just lost so many pieces. But I like Chicago. They're 7-3 in their last 10. You got Giolito on the mound, 8-6 with ERA at 3.90. And Chicago White Sox, they absolutely smash right-handers. I don't know what Mercedes has got going on. I know he's down in AAA. He says he's not playing baseball anymore, but then he was in the lineup tonight, so we're kind of confused a little bit. Guy just has to maybe find a swing in AAA. We'll see what happens there. But go look at that lineup. You got Abreu, you got Moncada. The lineup is just absolutely fire. They just smash right-handers. Like I said, I think they're batting about 270 against right-handers. So the offense is there. Giolito has been okay. He hasn't been himself, I think, these last few starts. But I think this is a good spot for him to kind of bounce back against a Milwaukee team that that has been struggling as of late. So give me the Chicago White Sox money line plus 116 for 1 unit. They are on the road, but I don't care. Well, that brings us to the end of the show here, Midnight Gambler. I'm just going to go just going to kind of confirm picks, see what they are, let everybody know where they are, what picks they are, and then you can just kind of let everybody know who you are, where they can find you. So you're going to go with, I believe, St. Louis moneyline plus 160 for a unit, San Francisco Giants moneyline minus 145 for 2 units, and then Oakland moneyline minus 115 for 2 units. Is that all correct? And where can they find you?
Those are all correct. Free money for you. And follow us on Twitter at MG_locks. We've got a big UFC and boxing weekend coming up, as well as more baseball plays this whole week. That's our big go-to. We love baseball. Follow us there.
Yeah, not a whole ton to bet on. So, I mean, make sure to check those guys out for some boxing, some UFC plays, fight night. And I've been your host. Obviously, I'm going with Chicago Cubs. Oh, I'm going with both Chicago teams. I just realized that now. Chicago Cubs money line minus 135 against Arizona for 2 units. Detroit Tigers money line plus 115 against KC for 2 units. And then I'm going to go Chicago White Sox money line plus 116 against Milwaukee for 1 unit. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's kind of been an odd show because we had to get a little audible in there, get somebody else in here. Well, me, obviously. But thanks for tuning in. I've been your host, Josh Elliott. This show is powered by the Blue Collar Media Group. You can follow them at Blue Collar MG on Twitter. Let's all have a weekend. Good luck to you, Midnight Gambler. And let's all make some money.